That is like one of the key principles in this life. You got to learn to work the problems in your life, and let's get you unstuck. Hey there, you awesome people. I'm so happy that you asked this question because this really opens the door for an honest and intelligent discussion about alcohol, tobacco, vaping, and drugs. Your question was, what is the worst drug? And I will absolutely answer that question in addition to giving you some straight up wisdom that will help you to make some decisions right now about what you will decide to do in this life and what you will decide not to do. My goal for today is simple. I'm going to talk about some true things, and I mean like capital T, true things. And as you gather that info, hopefully you'll make the kinds of choices that open up opportunities and a joyous life for you, instead of making the kinds of choices that will close the doors of opportunity for you and sometimes leave you totally enslaved. Now listen very closely, my friend. I am not here to scare you. That is not how I work. That's just not my style. Besides, those approaches aren't super helpful in the long run anyways. I'm here to talk about you, your brain, your body, your happiness, and then you will make your own decisions. My hope is that when you know better, that you will make better decisions, period. So first of all, what is the worst drug? Well, we really kind of have to define worst, right? Worst as in, like, does it kill the most people, or is the most addictive, or is the worst on the body? But wait, honestly, before I tell you what the most dangerous drug is, just hear me out for like 1 second, maybe a couple of seconds. I have 3 quick and easy suggestions for you. Number 1, if you haven't tried drugs or alcohol, don't. Honestly, they are not necessary in this life, and you will only create stumbling blocks on your path. It's like shooting yourself on the foot. Why would we do that to ourselves, right? 2, if you've tried it, honestly, it's a dead end. It's not going to lead you anywhere you ultimately want to be. So take some steps. Take and put this in your rear view mirror. 3, if you're currently doing it and are having a difficult time stopping it, chat with us about it. Chat with your parents. Chat with the counselor and work the problem, man. That is like one of the key principles in this life. You got to learn to work the problems in your life, and let's get you unstuck. The question you may be asking is, why though, right? Lots of people drink, use drugs, smoke cigarettes, use weed, vape. Whether you use those things in your life or not, it is completely up to you. You are correct. Many people experiment with these things, and many others use them regularly. I understand that in the end you get to choose, but I sincerely hope that you don't. I'm not going to give you some sob story about the dangers of those things, because truthfully, anyone with any sense of themselves and of the history of humankind knows that these things are not good for us. They numb our heart, they numb our mind, and they corrupt our brain. Yeah, Yuri, but I read this one article and it said this and that and this and that and the other about this person, blah, blah, blah. Come on now. If I wanted to find a research article about how jumping into a field of poison ivy is good for your skin, I could probably do it, seriously. But let me give you the 2 very best reasons why you should just consider what I'm telling you. 1, consider never using these substances because you have a brain. Let me explain. Your brain is a fragile and constantly adapting and evolving creature. It learns everything, remembers everything, and creates shortcuts for everything that relieves pain and moves you towards relief and pleasure. Your brain is a pattern-making machine. Remember that. Your brain is a pattern-making machine. That is a key concept. Your brain can take any behavior, driving your car, walking, running, chewing gum, playing the piano, learning how to do math, anything, and make that behavior automatic. I don't know why I said automatic that way, but I did. Meaning that you don't even need to think about it to do it. Your brain is awesome. Your brain will do this with the awesome things in your life, but it will also do this with tobacco, alcohol, drugs, vaping, pornography, etc. The problem with drugs and alcohol is that they often create some feeling of pleasure in the body, and because they do, it speeds up your brain's pattern-making machine. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire. Remember that your brain literally becomes the sum of your choices. It will learn to do whatever you ask it to do consistently. And once the brain creates a shortcut, it always wants to choose the shortcut, no matter how much we mindfully want to choose something else. Drugs, alcohol, tobacco, vaping are chemically engineered to trap you. They're not made to be a gentle friend in your life, like, yay, tobacco. There's a reason why these companies are multi-billion-dollar companies, is because they're parasites and tigers in a cage. These things are not meant to be domesticated or managed, because their sole purpose is to alter the mind to the point that you are no longer conscious. And unconscious is the opposite of your life purpose. Remember, it's not about whether you're strong or weak or mature or young or old. It's straight up biology and science. We don't use drugs, alcohol, or tobacco because we realize that we have a brain and we understand what that magnificent brain does when it's on drugs. Reason number 2 for not engaging with drugs, alcohol, or vaping is because it is intelligent not to. Gaining intelligence and utilizing it in your life is wisdom. Seeking and hungering for intelligence is the part of your life purpose. Thus, your ability to gather this information from the most reliable sources, processing it, and then making great judgments is a key piece to your joy, hope, peace, and incredible happiness and success that you will experience in this life. I gotta be real with you. Using these things is just not intelligent. I'm sorry, it just isn't. At least to your brain, to your body, to your mind, to your spirit. Save yourself and those around you the grief that often comes from doing these things. Remember, we reap what we sow, brother, and you don't want to reap and sow the consequences of these actions. There's a reason why drug and alcohol rehabs in this nation are a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's because people like you and me get stuck. And it's not because we're weaker or they're weaker. It's not because they're criminals or want to purposefully hurt themselves. It's because the reality is that they all start like you or like me, thinking to ourselves, man, I'm not going to end up like this forever. I'm not going to do this forever. I'm just going to do it for a little while. Or I'm not going to end up like Joe Schmo drinking and driving. Or I'm never going to do that drug, right? Referring to meth or heroin. I'm just going to use this or that, and it's not addictive. My friend, I plead with you. And your future. Be wise. Be intelligent. Don't dig holes for yourself. Life is hard enough. Man, there is enough tragedy. Think it over, please. Anyways, I don't want to be long, and I'm always long, right? And I don't want to linger and certainly sound like I'm preaching to you. Remember that your goal in this life is to feel deeply, not to numb stuff out. It is to become more and more conscious and mindful, not unconscious and mindless. It is to be intelligent and wise, not unintelligent and unwise. Yours is the call to raise your life, to raise humanity, to raise your friends and family. This is your birthright. It's what you're here to do. My hope is that you'll join me. Join me. It's not even just about saying no to drugs. It's that these things don't even have any value that's worthy of consideration for you. Okay, so back to your question. The deadliest drug right now is fentanyl. It is the most addictive, the most dangerous, and the most powerful. Most drug overdoses in the U.S. are due to this drug right now. Even tiny amounts of this drug can kill you. It's a poison, and unless it's being monitored very closely by a physician, stay away from it. And just so you know, a lot of other drugs like marijuana, cocaine, heroin have little bits of fentanyl in it. So please be wise. As far as the most deaths, my friend, tobacco kills 500,000 people a year. That's more than like both world wars combined. 95,000 die from alcohol poisoning or related accidents. That's like one person every 50 minutes. And then, of course, there are lots of other drugs: ecstasy, heroin, cocaine, vaping. Wait a second, vaping? That's just water vapor, right? Come on. That little vapor that you're blowing out or inhaling into your lungs is full of chemicals and heavy metals that literally sit in your lungs. Anyways, the biggest problem, remember, is that everybody else around you is like you. The people that have become stuck are just like you, right? Don't fall for those thinking errors, for those thinking distortions. Instead, be intelligent and be proud to be intelligent. I know peer pressure is real, but bro, so is your intelligence and logic and reason. Use them and don't fill your life with stumbling blocks. Stay humble, stay open, and have a blast out there.